Hey Buddy Fighters, today we're having a look at the Ranma themed deck. Now this is going to be a Crimson Valor based deck, and I did want to make it a throwback not only to the anime, but also the playstyle of Crimson and stuff, and talk about some other stuff. So in case you didn't know, Ranma plays the Crimson Valors, and he also has this card as his proxy buddy in the anime, but he does evolve and turn into something else later in the anime. So if you want to find out, definitely check out the Buddy Fight Ace anime on the Buddy Fight channel, and of course you can also check the newest episodes for free on there and all that stuff, and now I feel like I'm advertising for them. Anyways, we've got first Crimson Chieftain, Greatest General right here, which is a card that came out in the Buddy set with Start Deck, Crimson deck. I forgot the name of it. I believe it was Crimson Chieftain, along with the Hero World start deck as well, and Buddy 500, all the way throwback when Hero World was a new thing. But yeah, crazy to see that, and honestly, I really like the foiling at the time. I don't know if it will show on camera. You can't see the foil streaks that go across, and it was kind of the triple foiling at the time. But anyways, you can get 2 cards into its soul in 7/3/4. It's really only there to be Ranma's buddy, and I played 2 copies of it just to go along with his theme of the deck. Anyways, we have 3 copies of Boomerang Dragon Return as the first card in the deck, or as the lower size 0. So basically it's great for recycle because not only are you getting Gauge, but you're also getting hand cards as well, so you're making up for it. And because you can reuse it multiple times, and when you pair it up with Dragon Return system, which unfortunately I only have 1 copy of, but it can still make up a lot of Gauge. So 3 copies of that. It's just a really great card, so I definitely recommend picking up for it. Okay, we also have Crimson Valor, Battle Guts Dragon. So 4/2/1. With move, if you have a fist item equipped with fist in its card name. Now, I only have it in a deck because for Ranma, and there are better size ones out there if you want to make Crimson Valor, which we'll talk about later. But hey, it's here for the Ranma theme deck, and you know, size 1 move really wasn't too bad back then. We also have a Clashing Crimson Valor, Gunsknuckle Dragon. Now, this is from the new set, Solar Strife, along with a lot of great Crimson support cards. Unfortunately, I didn't get his counterpart, which was also a rare. But there's also the Impact as well, which can stop all battle damage. You put an item with Fist into the drop zone. So a lot of great cards. You can look to Crimson Valors. And also, if you want to play into the future and make a Crimson Valor OTK deck, then you can also remove Soul from him because he is an Armor Dragon and has Soul Guard. So 1 Gauge top card in its field. You can search your deck for any Fist, which is really helpful. And of course, when it attacks, burn 1. When your Fist attacks, you get to burn 1. Here's another great card that was also introduced. Crimson Valor, Greatest Dragon? Yeah, Greatest Dragon right there. Just because Ultra Pro kind of blanks it out. Anyways, it's 4/1/1, size 1. So Crimson Spirit, when this card enters the field, if you have another card with Crimson's card name, draw a card. If you have a card with Fist's card name equipped, burn 1. So really just there for the draw power, but also that burn 1 does make a difference. Another old card right here that I really enjoyed just from the art and the effect. Crimson Battler, Catapult Dragon. So 3/1/2, size 1. This card links attacks with the item with Fist. You choose that item for this turn, the card gets double attacked. So it really allows you to deal a lot more damage, especially if you don't have a card like Crimson Drum. So there's that as well. Or sorry, the new Crimson Drum from Solar Strife, which gives penetrating double attack. We also have Crimson Valor, Gun Arms Dragon, which basically gets critical equal to your Fist. Unfortunately, I didn't get the one that gains critical +1 for every monster on your field, but that card's also a great selection as well if you do like it. It can't be destroyed by opponent's card effects. Anyways, with this card, Crimson Valor, Robunker Dragon, so 4/2/1, size 1. When this card enters the field, if you have an item with Fist, basically Gauge 1, so that's basically good. And, you know, get in that Gauge, just something to go along with the deck because I wanted to be able to fit the theme. Now something a little bit competitive-wise, which can be really annoying to your opponent, Disturb Hand Dragon. I do have more copies, but I only wanted to include 2, kind of just for the memes, honestly. But it's a 1/2/3 size 1 monster, and it's great because your opponent cannot draw cards by the effect of cards. So essentially, if your opponent does not have any monster destruction in their deck, they're pretty much screwed because this stops all draw. It's kind of like an Obstruct, but basically on your field that is touchable. But hey, it can be really annoying to your opponent, and again, it's there for the memes. We also have Blowgust Dragon, your 7/3/2 size 2 monster, which Ranma does use for that 3 crit. Again, there's better options now for Dragon World, and obviously those are better, and you should run those if you do want to make a Crimson Valor deck. We also have this card, Crimson Valor, the Blacksmith, 6/2/4 size 2. If an item on your field with Fist in its card name is the only card attacking, this card cannot be nullified. The attack cannot be nullified, not this card. So yeah, being able to have that 3 crit or 4 crit or whatever, not being able to be nullified can be sometimes helpful, especially now in the Ace era, when a lot of the new Ace decks are nullify effects. Again, of course, a lot of stuff has other support as well, so I wouldn't say it's too great for the deck, but you know, I had to have another size 2 in the deck just to fill it up. We also have Crimson Valor, Double Katara Dragon, 8/2/3 size 2 monster. So basically what it's able to do when it attacks and destroys an opponent's monster, and you're, of course, equipped with a Fist, then you're allowed to remove all soul from that monster, so it's great for taking down walls, especially when Crimson Valors don't necessarily always have double attack, or at least the older cards don't. We also have this card, Halberd Dragon. Remember him from the anime? He's also a Thunder Knight as well. We also have 5/2 5, size 2 monster. If you have an item equipped with Fist, this card gets 2/2 and moves. So it goes up to a 7/7 stats, and if you have the special Fist equipped, you can go up to 8/8. So kind of just fun deck to play around, especially when you can play this with other starter decks and kind of get away from the, if you want to call it, power creep or crazy era of Buddy Fight Ace going on right now. Sometimes it's good to take a break and go back to some older decks. We also have an updated Void Crimson Chieftain Drum. Now, this drum is just pretty insane. Like, you need it for an OTK deck, and again, because it's Soul Garnus Armor Dragon, you can use Into the Future on it. Into the Future is pretty pricey. We got a 7/3/3 size 2 monster. So, call cost, put a card from your field into this card's soul and pay 1 gauge. All cards on your field cannot be nullified or rest by your opponent's card effects. And at the beginning of your attack phase for this turn, give an item with Fist in this card on your field, critical +2, penetrate double attack. And of course he's got Penetrate himself. So essentially, if you have Gao signature item that Ranma uses in the anime equipped, you can get a 5 crit double attacker, and of course you can also pair it up with another Fist that I'll show later to get some other bonus effects. Okay, anyways, we already talked about this guy, but just Soul, and he's really there for the theme of the deck. Greatest general right there. Okay, let's move on to some cards. This is a meme, I get it's outdated, it's there. Dragonic Aura, it's also a spell from the starter deck. If you have an item, you only cast a card if you have a weapon equipped, so it's basically going to say item. But anyways, 2 cards from the top of your deck into your gauge, you gain life, because not all items like Gold Ritter are weapons. But still, really great to see that, and my mistake if I called Gold Ritter not a weapon, but I'm just saying that right off the top of my head. Anyways, you got Dragonic Charge Plus, because gauge, and I believe Ranma did use it, but you can get up to 5 gauge, which can be really helpful sometimes, especially if you're in low limit. Sky Dragon Divinity, because you definitely need that draw power. It's basically your generic draw power if you don't have it in the main deck, or you just want more in Ancient World or Dragon World, and it's great for that. And of course, it's also available for Guardians as well. Dragon's Roaring Blast, Destruction card for Crimson Bowlers as well, and of course, just more draw power as well. Definitely handy. And in case you didn't know, in the upcoming Special Series 1 for Buddy Fight Ace, we are getting this reprinted as well, which is cool to see. We also have Dragonic Grimoire, 2 copies of that because you can always refill your hand, and also this is also going to be reprinted in Gargantua Awaken. It's just kind of nice for Dragon World decks, especially if you're playing casual. We have Ring of Crimson and Dragon Return System. So of course, in case you don't know, you haven't watched the anime, this card basically allows you to revive with 2 life if you put it into the drop zone and get a spell from the top card of your deck. And of course, when a monster in your field returns to your hand or deck, you get to gauge, which is really nice. We also have Ring of Crimson, which is giving power to your entire field, and can also keep an item with Fist in this card name on your field if it would be destroyed. We also have Ranma's kind of signature spell from the anime, Dragon Spell Hiding Bomber. This card was also reprinted, I believe, in Solar Strife, I believe it was. But yeah, it's really nice because, oh sorry, not Solar Strife, New World Chaos. But you can pay 1 gauge, you only use it during your opponent's turn, but return or destroy a monster with 5,000 or less defense to the opponent's hand or destroy it. And it's great because it's got that versatility in return. So if your opponent's attacking a size 1 or 2, or sorry, not a size 1 or 2, but anything that meets the requirements of the card, you return that back to your hand to use it again for next turn, or in case your opponent tried to take it out. So 2 copies of that. 2 copies of Double Lost. Now I see some people pulling this out to test. Honestly, I really like this card because of the art and the effect, but it's a duo card right here. Dragon World, Katana World, as Dragon Spell Hiding Bomber as Magic and Dragon. You only cast this card when a monster in your field is destroyed. Pay 1 gauge to put a solar monster in your opponent's field, search your drop zone, and destroy that card. This can be really annoying to your opponent, and if your opponent does not have the invincibility cards for the new Ace decks, you can easily take them out. So that includes Garga. Boom, take him out in 1 spot if your opponent doesn't attack with Garga first, or attacks with their item first, you can take him out before you can even attack. You can take out Cross Astrologia, you can take out Agito. So being able to remove Soul and Destroy is really nice, and it's only 1 gauge as well. Drago Desperate. Now, this is also a really old card. I believe it was pretty great with 5th Omnis. I mean, it's still not too bad of a card, but I really like it because 1 gauge, 1 life, you have that versatility to either rest a size 2 or less monster, or rest an item. And especially with the Mobile Aerial Team, Electro DDs, and lots of new stuff having crazy items, you definitely want to be able to rest items, and that can be really nice sometimes. So, 2 copies of that. Green Dragon Shield, because we got to throw back only 2 copies, but it's an anime deck, so of course, we need to have Green Dragon Shield, and of course Blue Dragon Shield as well, to get that free age, so 3 copies of that. Steel Dragon Iron Fang, because I want to actually make this deck playable and kind of up to date. And Drago Trap as well, because Ranma used it. Unfortunately, you don't have more Drago Trap or Steel for Dragon Fangs. I should get more, but I haven't so far. Anyways, let's talk about the Fist really quickly. Actually, let's go over the impact first. So, this is really cool impact, in case you can't really see the full. It doesn't really show too well on camera, but Crimson Soul Grenade was an impact from the starter deck as well. And of course, it's got some pretty wicked art right there. So you only cast a card if your opponent has 4 life and less. You have an item equipped. You don't have a monster center. 4 gauge, deal 4 damage. So it's kind of like your budget, pretty bad Gargantua Punisher. I still don't see why Ranma didn't run any type of impact in his deck. I know obviously for plot reasons, Ryuga had to win, but I still think Ranma would have played an impact in his deck, and that's a pretty widely available one if you did get the start deck. Anyways, here's one of the newer fists, Crimson Iron Fist Dragon Knuckle. So basically, you can get Soul Guard from its ability, and it's only 1 life, and top card deck and Soul as the quick cost. And all cards in the field get 2,000 power for each card in this card's Soul, so basically you're buffing up your entire field. And its ability is when this card attacks, put the top card deck to your gauge into Soul, so you protect itself to, because when you're being put into the drop zone, you can use Soul Guard, so you can pair it up with the impact. Or, of course, you can just be getting more gauge, and if you pair that with Drum or an effect that gives it double tech, you can really use it to get more gauge, and that is really helpful, because Gauge Excel. We also got Crimson Fist Dragon Blaze, your classic Gao Ranma item. 1 gauge, equip it. The power isn't the best, but it's got that 3 critical, and if you pair it up with Crimson Drum, that's 5 crit double attack, which can be quite scary. But yeah, it's still a really nice card, and I love the art, and it's one of the basic kind of Crimson cards from back then to make the deck more aggro at the time. We also have 5th Omni, Dragon Fist, Roaring Flame. Of course, it's still a fist, just covered up by Ultra Pro sleeves, because reasons. Really, I just wanted to sleeve up this deck and wanted to make room for it, and I didn't really want to use up anything new. But we got 4-2, 1 gauge. All armor you field get 1,000 power, 1,000 defense. So again, that debuff can sometimes come in really clutch, especially when you need a lot of debuffs, because it's an outdated deck, and a lot of the newer cards have a lot more power and defense. 1 life for that 5-2, Blazing Dragon Fist, Drago Burst, kind of more metallic, interesting design. And we also got another one right here, Martial Bones Fist, Drago Square, 5-2, 1 gauge instead. So honestly, I really do like Crimsons, and this was actually not this deck specifically, but Crimson were actually my first deck that I ever got for Buddy Fight, and I think I really enjoyed the design of the cards, really being the Dragon World, you know, obviously the main theme. But of course, there's lots of great worlds and other cards to choose from in Buddy Fight and Archetype, so be sure to explore them and find one that you enjoy and one that really suits you. So yeah, there's the anime themed deck. It is definitely playable. I want to get some Buddy Fights with it, with maybe some of the Gargantua Awakened set. I don't know if you guys really want anime recreation fights. I don't want to do that exactly like basically play-by-play like the anime. But yeah, if you guys want to see that, if you have any suggestions, then I'm totally free to hear them. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you later in the next Buddy Fight video.